Hi, and welcome to episode 115 of Marketing Corner.
Woo, 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 woo.
Woohoo!
Yeah, great.
Getting
Yeah.
there. Our guests don't get it. Do
No,
they?
but
Yeah.
I don't get it, so I guess we're like.
I feel like until you get the soundboard where we can do like proper sound effects.
Yeah.
This is what we have to do. So it's actually kind of your fault.
I know. I'm sorry.
Anyway.
Blame me.
We're back with Katrine Rasmussen, CMO of Pixelz. I Americanized your name for my own
Oh,
ease.
good.
That worked really well. You said it
Okay.
better than I did.
Fair
Yeah, I
enough.
think that's really
That's
good.
true. I'm
Yeah,
actually
solid.
better at Danish than you are.
Yes.
No, but in the last episode, we talked a bit about how you got into events, why you do events, why they work. If you're listening and you haven't listened to this one, what are you doing? What are you doing? Go back.
If you're even here and haven't listened to part one,
Like, yeah, look at your life.
yeah,
Anyway,
reconsider your life choices.
we always abuse the listeners. Well,
Yeah,
no,
they can take it.
They can take it.
Otherwise, they wouldn't be listening, right?
You wouldn't be in marketing if you can't take this.
That's actually a good point. I should
Thank
have
you.
an episode on
Yeah,
that.
we're just making you stronger.
Yeah.
Anyway, so in this episode, we want to talk a little bit. So you left us on a little bit of a cliffhanger in the last
Right.
episode where you
Yes.
said, we do this with military precision, but I'm not very detail oriented, which sounds like it could make things kind of difficult. So I would love to hear a little bit about
How do you make it work?
how do you make it work?
Right.
Yeah.
And it's really not me who makes it work, right? It's my team. One of the things we talked about in the previous episode, right, was like how I didn't want to do events from the get-go. And, well, there was a little bit of pressure coming from above. Let's just put it like that. So it's like, okay, we're going to do an event now. We're actually going to do it. And I come from much more of a predictable revenue, SaaS, that kind of world.
Yeah.
I want to say I'm much more comfortable behind like inside Google Ads or something like that, right? Where we could just hide behind the screen and do a little bit of optimization, and you also get your results pretty quickly, right? You can see what happens. So that's really the world I came from. SEO, paid search, all of that, like everything that comes with data, right? It's right there. It's easy.
Yeah.
And that's where I was comfortable, but I was pushed into this whole event thing.
This whole event thing.
Yeah. And in the first year, and when I say we, that was the existing marketing team that we had back then, right? It was one of those things that we just sort of like did on the side as a side
Okay, so it started
project.
as a side thing. Okay,
Yeah.
interesting.
Like most of us have, right? We all have our
Yeah.
main job and then do an event on the side.
Right.
That's-
Which is completely crazy, to be completely fair.
God, it's
like
so
doing an event on the side. We're
Yeah.
doing an event on the side, and I feel like, guys? This is it's
too
not
much.
that smart. Yeah,
It's
but here we are.
actually really not smart.
It's a lot of work.
So much work.
Yeah.
And there's
How
just,
did your team look like? Sorry, back then.
back then, I had one girl on my team. She was like doing social media. And
Yeah.
She was doing a little bit of different things, and she was also involved in doing the first event, the one that we had even before I started, right?
Yeah.
And it was like, so now this is kind of like your project, and
Yeah.
and then we'll task CS team and the sales team with finding speakers because they're the ones with the context within the industry, and then we'll task these people with that, and then some of us will do a little bit of that, and it was just not organized very well. Like the project management of the whole thing was just, oh my God! I mean, that's why I don't like events, right? Because it was just a bit of a mess. I want to say I think I managed to actually hire the first event manager that I had on the team just before that first event. So he wasn't part of like planning that first event.
Okay.
So that's one thing we just sort of like did on the side.
But that's
as
also
a
like, I feel
team.
like that's dedicated. Then when you know you have something that's working, and then you go ahead and hire a full-time resource just to do that.
Yes.
I like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we made that hire. So the first event, I mean, it all worked out. We did our very best, right? None of us
Yeah.
were event pros. I mean, if you go back and look at the ROI, it was a good event, right?
Yeah. Okay. Good.
But we've come.
That's
I
good.
want to say we've come a very, 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 very long way since then. Also, I didn't know anything about events, which also means that I didn't know how to hire a good event marketer.
Right.
Because
What do
how
you look
do you
for?
hire
What do you look for?
someone
Yeah.
for something that you don't even know how to do?
Yeah, very true. Great point.
So that was, but I did hire one. He came from within the industry, and he was a great guy, and he knew everything about content production. He just didn't know how to run events.
But again, but this is being treated like it's a side job,
Yeah.
Right.
which it is,
Exactly.
right? And that's what
Yeah.
happens, and that's what happens to so many marketers.
And then we struggled a little bit for a while.
Yeah.
And I realized, this is not going to work. He's not organized. Great guy, but not good with details, not good at events. So I was like, okay, if we're going to take this to the next level, we need someone who really knows events and what they're doing. And not just the event organization part of it, right? But also like the strategy and everything that's leading up to it. What do we want to get out of it?
And I
Like
think-
a bigger picture.
That's the hard part, right? Like in my opinion, because like I think if you ask me now, can you go out, Casper, and find someone who's good at events? I could do that. I think I could do that. I could. I know people already off my brain. I'm like, I could find. Are they good at elevating events to the next level? That I would be unsure of. I'm not sure I could like just off the top could locate one or. So I think that's hard, right?
Yeah. Because
Okay.
there's the event organization, and
Yeah.
project management,
Yeah.
which is actually completely different from
Yes.
from like the higher level strategy.
It's not the same.
No, it's not the same.
No.
It's not the same role.
Yeah.
But I was just I don't know. I was very, very lucky because that same
sometimes
week,
that happens,
I think,
right?
or
Yeah.
that same month, Alexandra, who is now our experience director at Pixelz, she reached out to me because I think she saw on LinkedIn that we were doing a lot of events, and she was like, oh, maybe they need help. And I was
Great.
like, I actually really do
And
need
you know
help.
what? And this is what we say to so many marketers who are out of work. That's what you do. You
Yes.
have to say, I see you're doing a thing and I can add something to it. Like
Yeah.
if you sit there and wait for them to find you, they'll never find you. But I think this is a perfect case study for those of you who are unemployed out there. Follow cool companies, see what they're doing, and reach out and say, I could help you. Because we don't know what we don't know. We don't know what we're missing.
It's actually so funny. Sorry for intervening here, but like, I had a session yesterday with a guy who came by, like a good friend asked me, hey, can you talk with this guy, right? And then he comes by and he's looking for a job, and then I ask him, what can you do? And he's like, goes in 5 different directions, and I'm like, even if I want to hire you, I don't know what I'm buying.
Yeah.
Like, help me buy you.
Yeah.
Like, even if I wanted to, like, help me buy you. And then I was like, what do we mean? Like, I mean, tell me what you could help me with.
Yeah.
Like, what can you solve for me? And that sounds like what she did, right?
Yeah.
I love that.
And she's not just like an event organizer, right?
Yeah.
She has that like big picture, like the
Love
strategy.
it.
How do we do this? Like, how do we take this to the next level?
Brilliant.
That framework and that mindset.
Yeah.
So getting her on board really, really changed everything.
Nice.
She's such a professional. She
Good.
knows exactly what she's doing. And
She's very nice as well. I've met
she's
her a
very
bunch of times.
nice.
And we
Okay.
were both on a panel together.
yeah,
She's very nice.
and now she's been with us for 3 years. And now what happened is I love events. Now events are my favorite thing to do
Yeah. Wow.
because she knows how to run it.
And we did it.
Yeah, I
She
like
does it.
that.
Yeah, she does it.
She doesn't do it.
No.
She actually has 2 people on her team.
Right.
Yeah.
So she is the overall strategy, right, of a account-based strategy. We call it. Her title is Experience Marketing Director, and under that falls, of course, all the events. We got webinars. We got a lot of ABM activities. She's hosting a podcast. So everything that that falls under the event umbrella is hers. And then she's got 2 people on her team that is actually running, organizing,
The logistics
project
side.
planning, logistics. Yeah.
Okay.
So now we've got like a full
Now you have
team
an
within
engine.
the team
Yeah.
who knows exactly what they're doing. It's made such a difference, right?
And when we did our ELG episode, Events-Led Growth, I
Yes.
mentioned her because that is the coolest title I think I've ever heard. And
It's a cool title.
I've never encountered
Yeah.
it before, right? Because
Yeah.
you have events manager. I've heard that. But experience marketing, that's different. And I think that shows the Pixelz mindset. It's not an event, it's an experience.
It is.
And that's what your ICP
We
wants
want
is
to.
an
It
experience.
doesn't matter what it is, right? If
Yeah.
it's an event or a webinar, we want to leave people with experiences because
Yeah.
that's what they remember in the end.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we're trying to do, and I think one of the things that we do differently, and that one of the things that she's taught me, is that we always think about the attendee experience. We might have sponsors who wants to do this and wants to do that, and who wants the email list and who wants to do all these things, right? But we'll always put the attendee first.
Yeah.
Does the attendee want to be emailed from 10 different tech providers before the event?
Nope.
Probably not.
Probably not.
No.
No, they're not getting that email list before the event. No.
No.
It doesn't matter how much they're paying us. It's not part of the package.
Yep.
So it's one of those things where you need to be good at pushing back
Yeah.
at sponsors. I mean, if their ideas are not good, we're not doing it. We don't care. It's about the attendees, and it's not just sponsors. It's also Pixelz C-level team, right? Like, what if the CEO wants to do that? What if the CEO wants to get up on stage, but we don't want him there?
Yeah.
We'll tell him no, because it's all about the attendee experience, right?
Yeah.
So it's all
Yeah.
about managing all the stakeholders that are actually paying for the event, but making sure that the attendees leave the event with the best possible experience,
I love that.
because that's how you're going to get the most out of your event, right?
That's brilliant.
If the attendees don't have an amazing experience, it's just going to be another day. They're not going to remember Pixelz. They're not going to remember the event. They're not going to leave happy.
Yeah,
and
I
that
just got sold
is
to.
probably
Yeah.
the most important thing when it comes to events, right? So that's also a little bit of a mindset shift
Yeah.
to focus on the attendees and not on all the different stakeholders who thinks they know how they want to run it.
Brilliant. And with this team, how have you been able to, like, your flow events are not a one-hit wonder. They happen, as you mentioned, you have 2 flagship events and then you have local events. And you've been doing this for 5 years
Well,
now?
I guess, there were the COVID years, right? So I guess 4 years.
4 years,
Yeah.
but clearly not a one and done.
No.
How do you keep it going? How do you, and especially, I think I would also like to be I'd be interested in knowing sort of, I guess you have the proof of concept now. You've proven it time and time and time again. So maybe you don't have to do the stakeholder management in that sense. But how do you keep this engine running?
How do we keep it running? Well, I think one of the things that we do is that we always try to switch it up a little bit.
Okay.
And we never repeat the same things over and over again. Now I need to think. We don't do 2 events at the same venue. So even if this is going to be our 3rd time going back to London,
But it's a different
but we're not
place.
going back to the same venue
All
because
right.
we want everyone to have a new experience, and of course,
Interesting.
preferably a better experience, right?
Right.
So we're not going back to the same venues. Also, for the first 2 years, we did 4 bigger one-day but bigger events. Now we switch it up a little bit, so now we do the 2 two-day events instead. So it's like a bigger experience. We always add new things to the program. Sometimes it's workshops. We didn't have workshops in the beginning, so we always try new things. It's never the same keynotes. It's never the same program. It's always something different. So
And
it's never the same experience.
And that would, in my head of like, how do I scale this, goes against that, right? Because you want a repeatable,
Yeah.
we do this every year, we churn it out. So you've actually made more work for yourself and you keep going.
yeah.
How? Great team, great resources, huge budget.
No.
What's the
budgets
secret?
haven't gotten bigger recently, unfortunately.
No.
Is it because you've also built a brand and now people want to
Yes.
work with you?
Yes.
And so maybe you're not chasing as much? Or
Yeah, there's
okay.
definitely a big part of that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's no doubt we built this brand for a while now, and people really want to come to the events because it's much more than just a keynote. It's much more about the networking and the community and the personal relationships. So there is a lot of that. And then I guess what else do we do to keep it? Well, I guess recently, right, we've been talking a lot about AI. We really try to listen to what do people want to hear about, what do they want to learn about, and make sure that we keep all the topics fresh as well.
Yeah. Okay, let's try. So one of the things I think whenever we always talk about ABM, when it's always dangerous to talk about scale, right? Because like technically ABM is the opposite of scale or something, right? Like it's not supposed to be scalable.
It's not supposed to be.
No,
yes.
but I think I still want to ask a little bit, like how do you keep growing your program framework? If like is there room to grow? Like as an example, now you have 2 flagship events per year, right? Is there room to do 4? Do you feel like, do you have like a measurable thing inside your head where like, okay, if we do 4, that's gonna be too much for people and then they won't join, or like how do you look at that?
I think if it wasn't a budget thing.
Yeah, let's say
If it
unlimited
wasn't
budget for a
thing,
second. Yeah.
Unlimited budget.
I definitely think we could do 4.
Okay.
Just because we're global.
Yes. Okay.
We have been talking about going to Asia, right?
And there's a lot, like in your TAM is big enough, I guess, right? There's like, yeah. That's not a problem. Okay.
Yeah, so we probably if we really wanted to, we probably could do 4, but we also don't want to grow the size of the events too much. We have gone from, I think in the beginning, like the very first one was much smaller, right? Probably about 50 people.
Yeah.
Then we scaled that up to 75. Now we're at around 200.
Okay.
And I don't think we want to grow it bigger just because of the experience.
Yes.
It will be a very different experience.
Yeah, like you don't want it to turn into a huge.
Yeah, but then
like,
another way, we go to different cities, right? It doesn't.
It's hard for someone in London to attend a New York event.
Yeah,
like,
well,
unless
we do actually have a lot of people flying in.
Do you?
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
From Europe, even to New York. It's harder when it's in LA.
Gotcha.
So
That's because
it's like,
New York is the greatest
Yeah.
state in all of America. Just saying.
God.
I don't know why. I don't know. I mean,
Oh, we
I've
went
heard.
there. Oh, Lord.
so I guess that's another way of switching it up and,
Yeah.
and just making sure. We're also very careful that it's not the same people who come to the events again and again and again, right?
So do you reject people like that?
It's difficult.
Yeah.
Especially if they come to events
Karsten,
before.
you've been here 3 times.
Yeah.
You've had
poor
enough.
Karsten gets
Yeah.
yelled at in pretty much every episode. You yelled at
That's
Karsten
like my go-to name. Like I have
Fair
like
enough.
Karsten and stuff like that. Yeah.
So we definitely look at like how many repeat guests do we have, how many repeat accounts, how many existing customers versus
Alright.
new accounts.
And on your website, people apply to
Yeah.
come, right? That's
Yeah.
also very interesting. So you can be rejected in
You
theory,
can.
right?
You'll get waitlisted.
Oh. Oh,
Not rejected.
God, I want to go
not
so
rejected, Waitlisted.
Oh, that's way
I
better.
want to go so bad. I'm getting FOMO.
That's a softer blow.
Yeah, you're on the wait list.
You're
You're not important enough to make it through.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks
you're
for
behind
applying.
that velvet rope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Brilliant. But I think that's also very interesting, that's also a marketing tactic. Like if you want access to a beta, it's like you're on the wait list.
Yeah.
We'll consider you because it makes you feel like, oh, I want in. Like let me in.
I'd love to ask a little bit about it. So now we talked a little bit about team and like that more like the functional, the practical side. Like what's the support system around it? Do you have like, is there a tech you need? Like is there a tech stack you need? Is there anything to support ABX in your case? Like
Right.
what do you do there?
Yeah. Okay. So if we talk about it just from a like the ABX or ABM perspective,
Yes.
right? I feel like a lot of marketers think that ABM is really just tech, right? Automation.
So many. Like I get that
automations,
question all the time.
and emails, and
Yeah, just like
campaigns
if we just buy a demand base, are we good? Like,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, lead feeder and 6 cents. You're done, right?
Right.
Exactly.
But no. It's like, I feel like, actually, it's funny because I feel like ABM is the opposite of tech.
Exactly.
ABM is all
I
about
love
like
that.
personalization and
Yeah.
relationships and people and accounts and especially when you run, like, we don't have a ton of accounts, right? Target accounts. Each sales rep get to choose 10 to 20 accounts, like one-to-one priority accounts that they focus on for 6 months at a time.
Okay.
Interesting.
And for those, we'll do kickoff meetings with marketing, trying to figure out where do we want to take them.
For
where are
each
they,
of those 20? Or
well,
like,
yes, but
okay.
we'll talk about them maybe for, I don't know, 5 minutes.
Okay,
each of them,
okay,
right?
yeah,
It's
okay.
like, what are the pain points? What do we know about them? What's the goal for these 6 months? Do we just need to get in front of them? How far are they in the sales process? Are they cold?
Yeah.
All of that. But we don't have any, what would you say, traditional ABX tools
Okay.
or ABM tools. We use HubSpot.
Yeah.
HubSpot has a bit of a target account functionality. We use that obviously. Then on top of that, I mean, of course, we use LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Really just to making sure we're targeting the right people, the
Yeah,
right
yeah.
accounts. But no.
But nothing beyond that is
Nothing,
special.
No,
right?
I mean for our events, we do use Goldcast.
Okay.
But that plugged into HubSpot, right? And that's
Yeah.
like the webinar. But no, we don't have any fancy ABX tools. I really don't think like automation. That's not ABM.
No, I
like
totally agree.
ABM is the personalization. And honestly, when you work with, I think we have like 400 and something target accounts total. And when each sales rep gets like their priority list each period, it's really not that many. It's not hard to keep track of.
No.
It's not hard to build cadences or sequences or whatever in HubSpot, right? It's like I feel like a lot of people are over-complicating.
Over-engineering it, right?
Yeah, and it's also like, how do you track it? Whether it's like, well, if one of the target accounts closes, we
how we
don't
tracked
have
it.
to track that.
No.
I mean, we know that because we've been talking about these accounts for like months or years.
Exactly.
We know, like the entire organization knows what's happening. If it closes, we know that it closed. It's really not. You got a list of 20 companies. If 4 or 5 of them closed, right? We know that. That's amazing. We don't have to have fancy software to track that. It's much simpler.
I love that because I think you said over-engineering, and I think that's a perfect word. And when I talk to portfolio companies, they're like, we're talking to 6 Sense, and we're talking to these guys, and we're talking to these guys. And I'm like, okay.
Well, that's not where you start.
But the interesting thing that you guys do, which I think is best practice, and I want everyone to listen to this, is like, but because it's a company-wide initiative. So when I tried to do ABM at Dixa, for example, we invested in 6 Sense. We spent months setting it up. We did all the things. Sales didn't give a shit. So when we would get notified that a target account was on our website, we had a Slack and we're like, reach out to so-and-so. And they're like, yeah, I'll get to it. Because it wasn't a company-wide thing. It was a marketing thing.
Right.
It was
marketing
coming in here with their batshit ideas.
And that's way more important than the tech. I think that's kind of like,
it was like alignment. Like if you and sales are side by side, hand in hand, then it's going to be easier to know what's happening and to do these things without the fancy tech.
I mean,
right?
we'll do very little until sales tells us that why can we work on this together? Can we do this? I mean, during these meetings, right, I'll ask each one of the sales reps. So just like if you mentioned one thing of like all the marketing activities that we've done in the past 6 months that actually made a difference for you, what was that?
Yeah. Great.
And they usually say like the events, right? Being able to get in front of people, facilitating that. And I think one thing that I haven't actually touched on that I should just mention as well, because I think that's super important, is that whole thing about the sales reps like trying to book a demo, trying to book a lunch, trying to do all of this. But I mean, if you ever worked in sales, you know how hard it can be to get through to them, right?
Yeah.
It's like they don't want to go eat lunch with you.
No.
Because of course they know they know what the one thing you want to do is sell to them.
Yeah.
I mean, even if they want to buy
people
their
can
lunch,
smell you're trying to sell them a mile away.
Yeah.
Like we're not idiots, right? And it's fair. That's okay.
I mean,
I don't do that either. Nobody does that.
Right.
No.
Or shouldn't.
So I think one of the brilliant things with all these events and our webinars and our podcast and all these things that we do is we have marketing reach out. We have marketing reach out to these decision makers within the target account and say, hey, you're the studio director for this and this big brand. We've been following you for a while and your work is so interesting. Would you like to come and keynote a session at our Flow events? So there's a little bit of an ego play there,
Yes.
right?
And I love that.
We
we
love
do
talking
the
about
same
ourselves.
without spoiling Spark Force strategies. We do the same.
Yeah.
So
Works.
now it's not a sales guy, right? It's marketing. Marketing is reaching out. Marketing wants to learn more about them. Marketing wants to fly them into an event. Marketing wants to wine them, dine them.
And
Yeah.
like keynote
We
and
think-
podcast and
We think
webinar and
We think you're swell.
yeah.
yeah,
We
exactly.
want to put you on stage,
Right.
and we'll pay for it.
So, of course, they'll find themselves in the same room as our sales reps, as for 2 full days, right? And we'll
Yeah,
get to
they'll
know
sit
them.
next to Karsten, and then Karsten will sell.
Oh, we didn't kick
or
Carson out yet?
Yeah, no,
Okay,
he's
Carson's
the sales guy.
invited?
He's
Okay, he's
right next to
invited.
us.
And we do the same thing for our podcast, right? I
Yeah.
mean, we're gonna spend 45 minutes listening to our ICP, right? Just talking about their pain points, their challenges, and what they care about. So I think that's also another, and this is what we do with the sales team, right? We will ask the sales team, from your target accounts now, who's the important decision makers? Are there any of these that you want us to get on the podcast? You want us to invite to keynote? You want us to invite them to the VIP dinner? And marketing will be the facilitators of all of this. And now at least they know Pixelz. They know some people at Pixelz.
Yeah.
Hopefully they'll have had a great experience. So even if sales don't get to them during the event, right? When sales reach out after, it's so much easier to get through to them, right?
And in our talk, what do you reach out with?
Well, the post event,
Yeah.
So one of the things that we do, so we are in fashion, right? And we do have some like great partners who have like, well, Canon is one of our partners, Pro Photo and all their lighting equipment, all of that, right? So usually during the events, we'll have some photo base.
Yeah.
So there'll be headshots, there'll be funny like fashion shots. So that means we often have a lot of like good stuff. Like we don't like airdrop them or anything during, right? We'll hold on to all those photos, and we'll have the sales team reach out like, here are your new headshots.
Yes.
That was what a fun event.
So nice to meet you. Here's
Really
the
nice
thing
to meet you. Here are the
needed.
key takeaways. Here are the videos. Here are the headshots. So again, it's not a very salesy approach, right? It's like just like giving them things for free and reminding them of such a great day that they had.
And it also is like, I'm also thinking like as a sales rep, it's easier, right? If you wanted to reach out to you can actually say, hey, we have this event, or hey, we have this podcast. Wouldn't you be up for jumping in and stuff? Like that offer is just way better. Like it's like the icebreaker is so much easier.
This is just a class. Right? This is a class example of soft touch.
Yeah.
Soft touch.
Yes.
There's no hard selling, and I think it's just brilliant the way it's been orchestrated in such a way that nothing feels like you're being sold to, but they're gonna walk away going, Pixelz is awesome.
Yeah.
We should really look into this platform. We should definitely pay them that enterprise price.
Or nobody wants to find a new post-production vendor, right? But the one day that they need a new one, where where they have that need, right, will be top of mind.
It'll be a part of the list, right?
Yeah.
Not just Pixelz, not just Pixelz who will be top of mind, right? It's going to be like our actual people from Pixelz. They'll have our phone numbers. They'll actually just reach out. So
it's brilliant.
That's where we want to get to, right?
It's brilliant. I think you've done it's really so just for context, I had a portfolio company who wanted to do events, and I spoke to Katrine to get her advice, and I was like, holy crap. So I think there's we're getting close to time, but not too much. But one of the things I did want to ask, because this is in my notes, and we haven't followed any of my notes, which is fine, but I have to ask this question, because originally we were going to invite you on for a talk about events-led growth. And we talked about you doing ELG, and you told me, I don't do ELG. I do ABM. And I thought that was super, super interesting. So I'd love to talk a little bit about the distinction you see between those two phrases, if you will,
right,
and kind of why you lean in an ABM bucket rather than an events-led growth bucket.
But I don't think you can separate them like that.
Okay.
I don't think they're two separate things. I think ABM or ABX is that's our commercial strategy, right?
Yeah.
And that sort of decides because we do enterprise sales, that makes sense for us. And then we need to figure out what are the tactics, what are the activities that make sense, that falls under that umbrella.
Yes.
And I see events or event-led growth or whatever, however we call it, right, as falling under that umbrella. So it's part of it. It's not the only thing we do. We do digital. We also still do paid search. We do all these things, but events is part of that ecosystem. And it is because it's just, and I really don't think it's more complicated. It's like taking a look at what are the tactics and what are the activities that we know works. And then those are the ones that we run with. And they have to fit with your ICP and your overall commercial strategy. And that's how we got to that. So I don't think it's either or.
I don't think so either, to be honest.
ELG is almost like a tactic.
Yeah.
Events are a tactic.
Events are a tactic. Just like it's a distribution channel.
Yeah.
Just like anything else.
Yeah.
It's
but
just,
I think it also, maybe the distinction a little bit is that because you're so clear on your ICP, your events are for them.
Yes.
Whereas some companies do ELG as going to exhibits, going to conferences.
Yeah.
They do that more.
That's a different play.
And that's maybe a little bit of a different play. But I
think
really
it's more like, you could say, like, if you were to, like, events can, even within events, just like you have within ABM, there's like one-to-one, one-to-few, all that kind of like different. Then events could also be the same. Like you can do your own events, and then you could do a light version where you just attend the right events as a starting point. Sure. Right? And then it's just the different degrees of how much you go into it, right? Yeah, that's how I see it, at least.
No, I think that's a really great. When you said that to me, I was like, damn. I've learned something again. So that's really
I have a final question.
Yes.
Because we need to round out, unfortunately. But I wonder, like, where does ABX go from here? Like, what is it like? And I know it's the world is changing, everything. But like, are there anything you're like excited about, worried about, like as a strategy? Where's the future bring for a strategy like this? For you guys, maybe. Just use yourself.
That's such a big question.
It's a really big question, I know, but it's just like anything goes. Fire away. I have one thing I would say, at least.
I mean, you're already using AI.
Yeah.
So it's not an AI is going to come in and because you've leveraged that and you've been doing AI before it was the thing we see now.
I mean,
let me ask you another question then. Is there a way to do better? What if I were to ask you, if I came in and I was like, boss, like, hey, Katrine, we need to do better. Like, what would you tell me? Like, here's the things we're going to do better next year, right?
You know what? Again, let's not consider budget here, right?
Yeah, budget, like budget out of question, like unlimited.
You know what I would really love to be able to do more of?
Yeah.
Because we do all these events, right? They're like somewhat personalized, but there is still like one bucket fits all.
Yes.
I would love to be able to put on even smaller size events.
Okay.
Could go like it's actually one of the things that we talked about. We wanted to do like a flow summer camp.
Okay.
And invite our 10 best customers with our 10 most promising account prospects, do a summer camp, be much more product focused, much more industry focused. So this is a 5-day intense. We're gonna be in Mallorca.
Love it, Bandcamp.
I love it.
Exactly. And it's gonna be like a full immersive experience.
But that Flow
right?
Gossip channel is gonna be busy.
Off the hook.
Yeah.
Turn
so
notifications
we did
off.
talk about like doing, and this would also be very, very interesting for our product team, right? To be able to like spend all this time with these
So even more personalized. That's essentially what you're saying.
Smaller, more personalized.
Yeah. Okay.
And I would love to be able to put on like maybe 4 of those during the year, right? So even smaller scale, much more personalized, bringing people together and like even like strengthening the community even more.
Okay. I love that.
I think
that's really interesting.
Again, again, super interesting because you're going small. You know, instead
Keep
of
going smaller.
big, it's lots of small things.
I had that discussion the other day, right? Even just with like LinkedIn audiences, right? You know, the minimum is 300.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love it when I can get to 300.
Yeah.
I mean, the smaller, the better, right?
Yeah. Even 300 feels like a lot though, because you can't tailor the messaging so much. But
that's
under
like
300,
when we talk marketing, right? Because we know who our best customers are. It's easy.
Right in front of you.
They're right in front of us, right?
Yeah.
So the more targeted, the smaller, the more personalized we can go, the better.
Yeah.
I get that.
So I guess that's what's next, right?
No, but that's
let's
good.
go small.
I
the
love
smaller
it.
you go, the more personalized you can be without having to do this kind of fake AI
And the better
hyper-personalization.
experiences. And
Yeah, and
the
if you
better
have
brand.
to, like, what do we expect from it? We probably expect that deals close faster, right?
Yeah.
Like we close more
And more
deals because we
attention.
get even more attention and then close faster. That's probably what we
If I
expect.
could fly the top 10 of the world's largest fashion brands and retailers into like a intensive summer camp, somewhere fun in 5 days, right? And talk about the evolution of content production, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the dream.
That's the dream, right?
That's the dream.
And imagine the close rate. Like, imagine being able to kind of work around that. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
cool.
really want to go. Everything she said, I'm like, I want
We'll get a ticket for Bandcamp. We'll get there.
We'll work on it. That was part of the podcast, right?
You might get waitlisted.
God,
on
kill
that
me.
note.
Yeah, let's end this now. I'm gonna go cry in the bathrooms. No, this has been super. I feel like we could keep talking, but
Yes, definitely.
we don't want to go over too much. But
Nope.
this has been super insightful, and I think everyone should probably follow you on LinkedIn because you're always, aside from the fact you're always in a beautiful location every bloody week. She's
Don't
in
worry, I'll
Vietnam.
post from Palma next week.
Oh, fuck off.
Yeah,
Oh,
we'll
whatever.
send you rainy Denmark.
Jesus.
And say-
Yeah.
But yeah, I think people should follow you on LinkedIn to see all the cool stuff that you guys are doing because it's really, really inspiring and getting those events in ABM and the importance of focus.
I think
that's the-
for me, this also just proves one thing we always talk about. It's about doing the thing that's right. And it's never Like,
And do
and
everything
Katrine didn't want to do events. Now she's loving it,
Yeah.
right? Like,
because it works.
and I think that's what makes great marketeers, and a bit of a applause here, but is this being adaptable, right? We always talk about like being able to just like say, I gotta do what works, and I didn't sign up to do events. Events is what I need to do, so here we are, 5 years later, doing fucking events,
And
right?
focus on it.
And then focus on it, right?
Yeah.
Like you got lucky with the timing that allowed you to kind of
Yeah.
do this, right? But then you embraced it. I love that.
Yeah.
Huge fan. All
Great.
right.
Thank
Cool.
you so much for
Well,
joining us.
thank
Thanks for
you so much
joining,
for
and
having
thanks for
me.
listening, guys.
Thanks for listening.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.